I've told everybody that, with this new podcast project, we're fortunate enough to have hired a booker, right, to help us out with getting all these great guests that everybody's enjoying. And when I talk to Art occasionally, he'll say, you have any requests? Most of them are doing media tours. They'll do their radio stuff. But now because podcasting has become such a big thing, us podcasters want more time with these guests, not the 8, 9, 10 minutes on radio. And one of the first people that I said that I wanted a cast member from Inventing Anna on Netflix, because we all love the show so much. And I said, in particularly, I want Alexis Floyd, because outside of the Anna Delvey character, which is very well played by which plays Ruth on Ozark, but Alexis, your character on Netflix, like, your acting ability is, like, I think you're the next big thing. You're just a phenomenal actress.
Oh man, Jason, thank you so much. Well, it was easy to look up across the way, and your scene partner is Anna Klemsky or Julia Garner or Laverne Cox or Katie Lowe's. All you got to do is take them in, and the story starts to tell itself. And the writing is Shonda. I mean, I was just in beautiful hands, but thank you so much.
So the story of Inventing Anna, for those that haven't seen it, is the story of Anna Delvey, who is a New York socialite that comes into the scene of money and power, which she has zero, but is able to, for the most part, manipulate her way into it, and ends up in jail and so on and so forth. Currently, Alexis, listen to this. One of our sponsors and a friend of mine, Manny Aurora, who's a defense attorney, very well-known defense attorney, is actually representing Anna Delvey currently with her immigration situation.
Wow. I mean, that is something. First of all, small world. And second of all, the story just goes on, like, Anna is a phenomenon. She is like a force of nature. So that is wild to hear.
So this is arguably the biggest thing in your acting career you've done so far, is because of the popularity of Inventing Anna. The other projects, you've done numerous projects, The Bold Type, Newly Single, just to name a few, but this is blown up and is such a big show still on Netflix. Did you know anything about the story when you auditioned to go to be a part of the project?
I didn't, actually, which is wild. I must be one of 3 people on earth who hadn't heard of Anna Delvey before, because when I would ask my friends about it, they would all freak out and, oh, I'm obsessed. I've been following her for years. But I just somehow never came across her story. But once the script hit the desk, all it takes is typing Anna DE into Google, and it populates with Delvey, Sorkin, Russian, German, 11 Howard. I mean, there was already clearly a cultural phenomenon that had missed me somehow, but there's just so much literature on her. The Jessica Pressler article is so celebrated. There was fan fiction podcasts. I mean, she already had made a huge splash. So I had a feeling I was in for something pretty big. Yeah.
Did you at any point in time talk with the real Anna Delvey?
I didn't speak with her directly. Neff and I got pretty close, though. We spent a lot of time together. We had dinner together the first time we met for probably about 3.5 hours. And then she stayed really close throughout the process. She was there to answer any questions I had. I feel like Neff on screen is a Neff that we sort of built together, and I'm thankful to say that. But Anna, I just sort of watched from afar, like a lot of us.
So the Neff character that you play, she was on set, and you were able to kind of dig into who she was. How close did you portray the real character in real life? I mean, you got to put your little spin on it, obviously, but were you pretty much a dead on? And she goes, "You're me." It's kind of scary.
She did say that a couple times. I mean, one thing is I'm 5'1" and she's the height of a normal human being. So we were sort of, there are definitely differences. But I kind of like to think of the Neff you see on screen as a marriage of the two of us. And also it's a little bit of our friendship. We really did get close. I mean, I went to her house, I met her dog. Like, she really opened up to me. And I tried to celebrate her essence and the elements of her story that I admired about her resilience, her confidence, her loyalty, her savviness, her incredible intelligence. She has like a photographic memory. She just like is a really special person. So I think the Neff you see on screen is almost like an admiration and a celebration of her through, you know, through my own instrument. But I definitely wanted to try to, especially like her language, like the way she speaks is so unique. She has this kind of like musicality and rhythm. So that I tried to really massage into my body. But the rest is yeah, somewhere in between the two of us, like the Venn diagram of Neff and Alexis. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Julia Garner playing, Anna Delvey, which is obviously what the show is about, my wife and I, we're watching it, and every episode we're watching, we just comment on how fantastic of an actress you are, and you really stole the scenes because you're so charismatic and you're just so likable, but you're no bullshit. Like you don't want to mess with Neff, but you want to hang out with Neff. Like you're just to be able to play that type of character, and for the fan like myself and my wife, to watch it and get that is just remarkable, really remarkable.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's a real testament to the real Neff and the writing as well. I mean, I think Shonda is versed in character building. Like she just makes these irresistible, very complicated people full of contradictions and surprises, and Neff is no exception to that. And the real Neff, I'm telling you, like we would get coffee and three different people would walk by and be like, Neff, is that you, girl? Like she was like the mayor of New York City, low key. Like she's just so loved in real life. So all I had to do was sort of let that run through me. But yeah, it's one of those moments when like the characters in your life are sometimes more elaborate than fiction. And she's just definitely one of those women.
Were you a Julia Garner fan from Ozark before?
Oh yeah, of everything. Yeah. I mean, she has just been crushing it forever, and I still think she's just getting started. I think that you know she's one of our greats. She's just about to take off in a whole new way, but she's been a hard worker and a consistent worker forever. And she was filming parts of Ozark while she was doing Inventing Anna, which is just like such a testament to this woman. I mean, to hold these two women, these two characters so fully in her body at once, and she's traveling across the country, and it's a pandemic. I mean, she can do anything.
Where did you, because Ozark mostly was filmed here in Georgia. As far as Inventing Anna, was that in New York?
Yeah, we filmed on location quite a bit, which was special too, because, there are so many landmark cultural cornerstones. And we got to actually be on location for that. So she was in New York a lot. We did a little bit of time in LA. And then she actually went to Morocco and stayed in that hotel. And so, I mean, she was truly all over the globe making art throughout the last couple of years.
Neff didn't go to Morocco, right? Neff didn't go, did you?
Oh, she did not go, which means I did not go. But
well, okay. So what's funny about the Morocco thing, and I didn't find this out until later. So the photography guy that goes to Morocco with them, it's played by Chris Lowell. And that's my old tennis partner's son. I didn't realize he had such a great acting career. And I've never met him before. I just know about him because I know his father. And I knew that he wanted to be an actor years ago. I thought that was like yesterday, but I guess it was a long time ago. And he's doing everything. He's doing How I Met Your Father on Hulu, I think. I'm like,
yes.
No idea. So you spent some time with him, right? You had some scenes with him?
Actually, we didn't, which is such a funny thing about TV, but also just this industry in general, is we actually never overlapped. And I think that happens more often than not on sets. You'd be in a whole movie with somebody and you don't meet them till the premiere. And then we didn't even have a premiere. So I actually our arcs never crossed paths with one another, which is sort of a bummer. But no, he's been in this game for a while. And just, again, Shonda really hires people who love what they do, and she really builds community. And I was really happy he was a part of it, and to see his work. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's a really good photographer, if you didn't know. He and his father a couple years back went on a tour to Chernobyl, and some of the pictures that he took on that trip were just absolutely amazing. Because I think that was his first passion, was to do photography, and then he got into acting. You know.
Oh, I got to check that out. Is
Yeah.
his stuff online? I got to check that out.
I have no idea. I know I can get you the Chernobyl pictures from his dad.
Yeah, send them over. I want to dive in.
So how is this show, like I was saying before, because of the popularity and what it's done, I'm sure, for your career, how has it changed your life?
Yeah, well, the blessing of Shonda Rhimes, it's like being knighted or something. Like she really like touches you and the world opens up. So that has been amazing to feel connected to her, and she really means what she says. I mean, she builds a community. Like the Shonda land is a real place, it feels like, or at least a real space where the artists stay connected, and she has a lot of opportunities for people to work with each other and meet each other. So I feel really a part of the community in a way that alone is life changing. And then on top of that, being a part of something that's made quite a splash in just the cultural scene. I mean, I've had so many interesting conversations with people who recognize it from the show, and they want to really unpack it. They want to ask what was true and what isn't. They want to talk about, I mean, we're all kind of in this moment of unpacking these con stories, and I think we're all interested in ways people cheat the system. And I think it's been really cool to realize how true that is, and see that I think part of why the story has exploded is because it taps into something really true about that. And it's really got me excited about all sorts of real life stories that seem, like I said, stranger than fiction. So that's another piece, is it's gotten me so interested in telling real stories and fictionalizing them to an extent. But I feel like that's something I want to keep doing.
Yeah, and what else is interesting about how now we digest entertainment, like with the Netflixes of the world, is that time-space thing that we've always subscribed to. Of movie comes out Friday, actor, actress comes on, promotes, and then it's done, but you're not going to have them back on to talk about that, months later or whatnot. I specifically reached out to Art I was like, can you track her down? I don't think you're doing a media tour, because I just wanted to talk to you because I'm just such a fan because of this Inventing Anna, and it's timeless. These shows on Netflix, I mean, it's Inventing Anna's been on for a minute, so it's timeless to talk about these things because the stories are not only great in real life, but the way they're portrayed by actresses like yourself are so well done that it makes it topical any day of the week.
I think that's true. And the con story we've been telling, it's kind of a tale as old as time. And that's really interesting too. And yeah, there's something about it living on a platform like Netflix that touches so many parts of the world. It creates like a global dialogue about something really true and human. And I just feel lucky to be a part of it. And thank you so much for your kindness and love. It really, really touches me. I'm so happy to unpack it with you. And thank you for celebrating it this way.
That's all I'm trying to do, Alexis, is I'm trying to spread some love and some goodness into the world. So yeah, if I can do it with you, then good for us, right? Would you remember the audition? Well, I'm sure you do. The audition process, was it like a casting, a cattle call, and you're all in one big room and you see some other actresses of name that you're like, oh, damn, this is not going to be happening for me? Like, how did that go down?
We had already sort of crossed into the self-tape space when that audition came through, which now is like the way it goes. So, we used to rent out our office and everybody was in line, like you were saying. And now everybody's recording from home, largely for safety reasons. But that had already started a little bit in casting offices. So I had taped from home for the project. And I didn't hear anything for a couple of weeks. And I, like you do as an actor, you get yourself an ice cream, you brush it off and let it go. I sort of thought that was that. But a couple of weeks later, my team reached out and said, Shonda hasn't seen your work before, but she actually doesn't need a call back. She doesn't need to see anything more. She just wants to sit down and talk with you. And so we got on Zoom and we talked for maybe about a half hour just about who Neff is. And I think she saw there was a lot of parallel in my performance, but maybe also she was just picking up on the ways you were connected in real life, which is, at the time I was working a day job. I was also working at a front desk of a yoga studio, but similar sort of like higher end clientele. I was in the financial district, Neff was in Soho. So there were so many ways that we aligned, I think. And we just sort of talked about that for a long time. And then the mystery of Anna, of course. And then a couple days later, I'm at Inheritance. I'm at the like final Broadway preview before the show opens. And I turn my phone off airplane mode in intermission for a minute just to step out and get some air. And I have a missed call from my manager, and I find out I get the job. So it was sort of beautiful, you know, standing in this atrium of a theater in New York City, which is where the heart of the show is. And it was a really special moment. I'll never forget that sort of moment. It all came together.
And you are a New York girl, and it does, because Inventing Anna is all based in New York. You know, like, I'm originally from up north too. There's just something about us that you can tell, like when you're a Northerner, right? So you portray that well as an actress on Inventing Anna, but you are very much into the arts in New York. You're not only an actress, but you also sing and dance. By the way, you're a very good singer, and I got to tell you, if I were to categorize what I think you sound like, you sound like an old, like Fiona Apple meets old school style meets Janelle Monáe.
You just made my day, man. Thank you so much for saying that. Those are some of my heroes. Janelle Monáe in particular, my goodness.
She's
the
cool.
one.
She's bad. I remember the first time I saw, so a guy I worked with in radio knows her. He was a producer in the music scene, you know, Atlanta's kind of a thing. And I remember coming into work, and she was not as big of a success as she is now. And she was kind of like curtain jerking an award show. She was, you know, side stage, and she was dressed in like this black and white kind of pantsuit tuxedo thing, and her hair is up, and she's doing, and it was like this really jazzy kind of thing she's doing. And it was just such a cool sound. And I remember just kind of shooting the, you know what, next day coming in and talking to him. I'm like, God, this girl, I don't know why she wasn't, like, they made a bigger deal. She was an intro and outro band on this, you know, the award show last night. He's like, oh, I know Janelle. I go way back with her. I was like, I was with her when she was just trying to break in the business. And now she's huge, right? And she's a big to do. So yeah, that's the vibe that I got from listening to some of your music.
I appreciate that so much. And thank you for listening too. No, it's true about Janelle. And it's cool to hear that she always knew who she was in that way. You know, she was always doing the black and white thing. Like, she kind of always had her alter ego ready to go. I always admire that about an artist who just comes out the gate knowing who they are, and it's just about the world catching up to them. You know, she's one of those forces, I think. But thank you again, and thank you for checking out my music. Really, thank you.
If you could pick, Alexis, and say, okay, somebody comes to you, all right, it says you can be extremely successful, extremely famous, extremely rich, but you can only pick one. You can either be an actress, you can be a singer, or you can be a dancer. Which one do you pick?
I think I would say, sorry, man, I'm going my own way. I got to do all three and walk the other way. I've always loved all of them. And I think that they work together. And, you know, I think we're starting to see a lot of people realize that there's kind of a renaissance moment in art, I think, where lots of forms are coming together to tell one story. We're seeing sort of a resurgence of the movie musical come back. And I think, like, we're starting to learn that these boundaries are more blurry than we think. And you can kind of have it all and move in between the forms. So I'm going to try to stay true to that and go with the flow in that way.
The stage is a lot more difficult than behind the camera, is it not?
They have their different challenges, but I will say there is a particular stamina about 8 shows a week that is like just another level. And I really admire the actors who are in a show for a year, going on 2 years, or the ones on the road on top of that. I mean, traveling around the country and doing 8 shows a week. So I think that is a special stamina, on top of the fact that you're often away from your family, or you know, I know actors who are on Broadway who basically can't speak for the rest of the day, you know, before the show, because they have to be able to sing for 3 hours. So there is like a commitment there and a longevity that I think is unique to theater. Absolutely. And
you have to have a mindset. I remember some years ago, I was up to New York, and we went, what did we go and see? We went and saw Rock of Ages. And I'm looking through the playbill, and I see that the lead is Justin Sargent, and he's a UCF grad. And I was like, oh, cool, because, you know, I'm a UCF alum, and so's Nate. And I was like, oh, good for him. You know, that's a big deal. And he just kills it, right? And it's all the music I dig, and he's just great. So I ended up like tweeting something out to him and stuff, and he gets back, and we ended up becoming friends over the years. And I see the life that he lives, and he's done Spider-Man, and I forget what he's doing now. I think he just has a new kid, but like this is his life every day, all day long, going in, and you have to put on, it's not like you're recorded and your performance was great after 5 or 6 takes. You've got one shot and you can't screw it up. If you do, you have to be really good in order to fix it. There's a lot of pressure on a stage performer.
Oh, it's true. And like you said, there are no redos, you know, like your body in real time is making this enormous, and all of the layers of that. I mean, like the people backstage, making sure the transitions happen on time. And then there is that risk of, you know, of live theater. If something goes wrong, if somebody's mic goes out, if somebody drops a line, if people get injured. I mean, it's such a physical art, and there's so much that you try to prepare for, but there is something, you know, you just can't prepare for everything. And there's a lot of learning on your feet and having each other's back in this very, very visceral way. So I think you're right. There's like a stance to doing theater. There's like a readiness state that is kind of one of a kind.
Let me throw this your way, Alexis. So I was talking to my wife about this the other night, and just ran across in my brain. Every once in a while, I come up with some great ideas, and then I just have to execute it. I was like, Inventing Anna, so big on Netflix. I kind of have access to the real Anna Delvey, kind of, right? What if I'm able to get a production company and she's able to buy into it? I'm sure if enough money's involved, she'd do it. What about reinventing Anna and doing a reality type of show of reinventing this woman that's into art, get her back into society, get her out of trouble, get her a job, and this and this and that, and the cameras follow her around. Is that not a brilliant idea? Reinventing Anna, just ripping off the Inventing Anna stuff on Netflix?
Whoa, that's actually pretty huge. And I think she'd be down. I mean, I think she's really interested in telling and retelling and surprising us with her story as much as possible. And I know she wants to continue to take ownership over it. So I say go for it, man. It's also a great title. Props in the title. It clicks. Yeah. I'm seeing it. Yes, I say run with the wind. If you can get Anna Delvey on your team to do just about anything, I say why the heck not? She's not going to let you down.
Yeah, I was like, God, what? It's in the name. I mean, even if the show sucked, it's just the name. People are going to watch it because of the name. Nate, do you have a question for the lovely Alexis Floyd?
Yeah, Alexis, so you grew up in Cleveland. What got you to New York rather than going to maybe like LA or something? Was there a decision one way or the other? Or what made you decide to go that way with acting?
Well, I actually did a small tour in LA right after school. I went to a conservatory at Carnegie Mellon where you showcase your senior year, both in New York and Los Angeles, because I think most actors pick one coast or the other. And it just so happened that I found my team out there, and I thought I would give the city a try, even though I sort of always knew New York was in my body. But, they were like, you come out of school, give us a try, give LA a try, see what happens. About a year in, I love and respect that place. And there's a lot about it that I actually miss quite often, especially the nature, like being able to hike and surf and ski all in one day is like pretty special. But there was just something about New York that was calling me out. So I packed it all up. I tried the other coast, and I haven't left since. I don't think I'm going nowhere. It's been in my body for a long time. There's a real heartbeat about this city. So, honestly, it ended up being more of a personal decision than it was necessarily a career decision. But I think you kind of thrive in the space that most reflects you, and New York just gives me a really special energy. And most of my team is still in LA, but in today's world, I mean, you could be in Barbados and work in, in Amsterdam. So it's a global storytelling world, and I'm thankful it allows me to be in the place that I love most.
Were you that little girl growing up, Alexis, that just was always the steal in the show, in the room? You walk in, you light it up with your smile and your charisma. Your parents were like, you've got to be an actress. There's nothing else for you to do in life. Were you that girl?
I think so. I was also the kid, like on my bike, like singing as I ride around the neighborhood. Like I was just sort of always making noise. My poor parents in my peaceful neighborhood. I was quite disruptive, I'm sure, from a very young age. But you know, both of my parents, my mother was and is still the manager of the Cleveland Orchestra Youth Orchestra. My dad was practicing law at the time, but he was a singer all the way through college. He's a beautiful tenor voice, and I was lucky that the household embraced, the creativity for my brother and I, though, yeah, I was a little out of control.
What does your brother do? Is he in the business as well?
He is. Yeah. He is still making movies, and he's sort of navigating the California scene. So that's kind of cool. We're on opposite coasts. I just saw him in a reading of a UCLA grads play that was beautiful. So we're both kind of in the world together, and I really hope down the line a project comes our way for the two of us to do. And if not, maybe I got to write it.
Yeah. See, that's, one side of me makes very, very angry when I hear from individuals like you, Alexis, and your great family, and you're so talented. It's just in your DNA. Like some of us just got ripped off. Like my mother, what was she thinking? Like she should have found somebody at least way talented to father the child. If you got two incredibly talented parents like Alexis you have, everybody comes out happy and talented and charismatic and enjoys life. You get somebody like me with the dysfunctional family I had, you get a guy that podcasts from his basement, It's just
Well, look, I'll be honest. I'm in therapy working through some stuff. Like we all have the dynamics of growing up. It's hard. It's hard across the board. But I will say, to be in a home that was supportive of the arts and supportive of self-expression, I think it did make an impact on my brother and I to believe it could be possible. And look, you've ended up right where you're supposed to be, Jason. You killing it out here.
God, I hope not. Jesus, I hope there's more in life for me. Hey, by the way, that therapy stuff is pretty good. I've been against it, not against it, but just avoided it my entire life. I'm 47, and I've just always been a mind over matter. I can do it myself. And just this past year, I had to reach out to one of our sponsors, Dr. David Markwell, and talk to him about some stuff. And I got to tell you, there's something to be said about therapy. It's okay. It's pretty good. I wish more people would embrace it instead of obviously taking a different direction, whatever direction that might be. But good for you for doing that. I'm not going to ask you what you're going for, but therapy's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. No, I'm really, really happy for you that you found it successful. It's definitely been transformative for me and my brother, for sure. There's just so much stored in the body you don't even know, and having language for these things that can change your perspective, which changes the course of your life. I mean, it's the machine of the mind is something else, and having someone else to unpack it, understand it with, it really has been life-changing for me. And I'm so happy it found its way to you too. Yeah. Cannot uplift therapy. I wish there was some way that there was, everybody could be a therapist for each other. Cause I wish it was a 1-to-1 ratio, cause I think everybody could benefit from it.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a pretty good listener, so if you ever need just give me a buzz. I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll listen to what you have to say, Alex. I'll be like, look, we're not doing that. I understand. We're not doing that movie. We're doing something else. I see where you're coming from. Brandon, do you have a question for Alexis before we let her go?
Yeah, I know you said you wanted to work with your brother on a movie or a show, but is there like another actor or actress or singer or artist that you really, really want to work with?
Oh, well, not to sound like a broken record, but Janelle Monáe, I will follow her. I will just carry her water bottle around. Honestly, I just really believe in that woman. Other folks that come to mind, Ava DuVernay. I just think what she's up to in the film and television scene is pretty spectacular. She's also working on this project where she's taking real recordings from cop cameras and surveillance footage and putting together narratives about police brutality in our nation. And she also has amazing scholarship opportunities for young filmmakers. I really believe in her, not just as a filmmaker, but sort of as a cornerstone and space maker. Spike Lee, Barry Jenkins. I mean, these are all filmmakers that make the art that moves me the most. And I would be honored beyond to be a part of their work in any way.
I really hit the nail on the head with this Janelle Monáe thing. I was just, out of my musical knowledge, making the comparisons there, but you really are a big Janelle Monáe fan, are you not?
Oh, it is so deep. It is so deep. I actually, the memory librarian, her new book is sitting next to me as we speak. Like, oh, I hope she's not scared. I'm not going to come for you, Janelle. I just really love you. If you can hear me.
Nate, I say it all the time. I'm a freaking visionary. This was not on the interweb. I'm telling you, this was just down from my gut, my heart. That came from the heart, the Janelle Monáe stuff. I'm telling you that right now.
You
it's
felt
your musical
it.
ear.
Yeah, it's in my musical ear. That's right. I have such a great musical ear. Here's another thing when I think of you and I see you and your ability, Alexis, a movie that I've been brainwashed to not only enjoy, but to love. And there's a side of me that really does like it, even though I'm a guy and I'm not supposed to say it out loud. But my wife it's always on our television. But if they ever made a sequel of The Devil Wears Prada, you would be perfect in that. I can even see you pulling off the bitchy secretary. I could see you pulling that off as an actress, not as a real person, but as an actress.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, Emily Blunt, who plays, she is also one of my favorites. My goodness, she's extraordinary. And the director of Devil Wears Prada, David Frankel, he directed a lot of Inventing Anna. Specifically, the pilot was like all his work. But he came in and out throughout, and he's a really special filmmaker. I think that I am with you. I think that film, even though it's huge, I think it's still sort of underrated in some way. Because you're right, it sort of like falls under the rom-com umbrella, which I think is a mistake, or just isn't all that it is. I think it is like a really extraordinary piece, and obviously the performances. I mean, the cast is out of this world. But thank you for saying that. That is totally the vibe of story that interests me for sure.
Yeah, I've been on this kick for the last couple of years. I just think that as dark as this world has gotten, we need more good-hearted, light entertainment. That's why I'm so almost anti-superhero movie, because they're just so dark and deep, and they don't need to be. That's not what superhero movies are supposed to be. They're supposed to be campy, and you're supposed to feel good about yourself and your country and where you live and people and humanity and all that other stuff. So like those movies, especially these rom-coms or these quote-unquote chick flicks that my wife forces me to watch, I actually enjoy them because they make me feel good. They're feel good. You're not having nightmares at the end of the night. Let's put it that way.
No, it's true. And also they're all about relationship. Like they're all about how our relationships to each other are actually like what makes our life meaningful and valuable. So you feel good. And then when you reflect on why you feel good, it's because you watched two people maybe start from opposite corners of the ring and then team up. And there's something hopeful and very true about that like when people are vulnerable enough and brave enough to choose connection, it can totally change and open your life. So I'm with you. I think they're really valuable, and we do need more. We need stories of connection, because that's the truth. We are the majority at the end of the day, and if we connect with one another, there's nothing we can't do. I really, as cereal box as that just sounded, it's the truth.
But that Christian guy, God, what a bad person. I can't believe he knew she had a boyfriend, and he still, God, oh man, and that boyfriend was so nice. He's just trying to be a show. See, this is what's happening to me, Nate. It's either I'm talking about like Devil Wears Prada or Pitch Perfect. What has happened to me? It's something's wrong with me. I've been chickenized or something. I don't know what has happened, but
this is 40.
This is almost 50. All right, Nate, do you have anything more for Alexis before we let her go?
I know you kind of talked about the interview process and auditioning and everything, but was there any like holdbacks from during COVID? Like, did you have to stop filming at any certain times, or anything change, or just protocols or anything like that?
We did, actually. So we started filming before the pandemic, and then we took a 6-month hiatus from March to September, when things really started heating up. And that was a big deal, because we were supposed to film for a total of 6 months. And then because of protocol, because we had to take our time and do testing, and we took breaks if there was the threat of an outbreak. And, we really tried to move slowly and intentionally. And because of that, it took us about 2 years to film these 9 episodes. So it really changed the course of the show in terms of how it was made. And then on top of that, it kind of changed the culture of the show in, I think, a sort of bitter, ultimately sweet way, because when we came to work, we had a job to do, but we also had to protect each other. Like more than anything, we had to keep each other safe. And that included, following protocol on set, as well as laying kind of low on our off hours over the weekends. And there was travel involved. So it was really, I think it brought us together in a really unique and meaningful way for a mini series, which can be a really quick process. But by the end, it felt like we were wrapping season 3. We really, really got close and became a family at times. I think that's true.
Well, your next project, what are you working on now moving forward? What's your next one?
So I just finished an arc on The Good Fight, which is their season 6 is coming out this summer. And then I'm not quite ready to announce the next piece yet, but I'm thankful to say I'll be storytelling this summer and hopefully announcing soon. Storytelling. That's actor business stuff, right? Like that's you have a new role. That's what that means, right? You got a new part, right? Storytelling. Yeah. So
okay.
Something's coming up. So
okay.
I'll be hitting record.
That's the lingo. We got to get the lingo. It's not that she's going to be at a Barnes & Noble reading a book. She's actually got it. Understood. But it's big, right? The next big project for Alexis Floyd is big. You've already started it. We just don't know what it is yet. I would say so. And that's the Shonda magic. I think she really opened new doors for me. And I'm thankful to say that, I think eyes and ears will be on it. Really thankful. Are you filming in Atlanta by any chance? Ooh, I better hold back. Well, I ask if you do, love to have you in the studio whenever you're ready to promote whatever your next project is. But you've been just such a fantastic guest, and I think we're buddies now, so that's cool. We are buddies. I feel it, and thank you. I will roll through. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. The website for Alexis, her own website, AlexisGFloyd, .com, if you'd like to go there, and of course all the acting and stuff that we know, but the music is phenomenal. You can get stuff there, and it's everywhere where you can grab streaming music, but go to the website and you can see everything that is. I mean, you're the next big thing. I'm telling you that right now. So you're just such a fantastic human being and a great actress. And thank you for the time, because I know this was like a one-off for you to do. So thank you so much for coming on. We're fans. Thank you so much. No, this was a pleasure. I'll remember this for sure. And I'd love to stay in touch. This was really joyful. Thank you guys so much. All right. Take care and good luck. And we'll talk to you sooner than later, Alexis. Yes, that's a guarantee. Thank you so much. Stay well, y'all. All right. Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
See ya.
Thanks.